Hi YouTube, Regina here from Simply Fundamental. So, today's topic, we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to talk about how not to be broke. So, there are a lot of people who are living paycheck to paycheck. As a matter of fact, I think it's at least 50% of people earning $100,000 a year or more are living paycheck to paycheck. So, how do we stop this? How do we stop being broke? Chances are you're spending a lot on your credit cards, and a lot of it is being spent on discretionary income. It could be possible that you've gotten your bills to be so high, but let's focus on not living beyond your means. Stop hemorrhaging money. So we're going to put the first thing we're going to do is put a halt on all spending that you do for discretionary. You know, stop spending on shiny new things. I'm sorry, it has to be done. You're broke. And so you have to stop digging the ditch, and you want to avoid adding new debt to the situation. So stop spending money. Trust me, chances are you have everything you already need. So when it comes to spending, I want you to focus on the 3 R's: repair, replace, replenish. That's where you're going to do your spending on. Think of the utility of an item. Is there still useful life left? If there is, consider repairing it. If there isn't, then that's when you may want to replace it. Now, replace doesn't mean you're buying something that is a stand in for something that you already have. You don't need a new fancy coffee machine if you have a slow drip coffee machine. That's not replace. Replace is when something breaks down, that you're replacing it. Remember, you have everything you need. It also doesn't mean things like the Stanley Cup. Fads fade. Just remember that. And then the replenish. Replenish is when you've used items up. So, yeah, that tends to be grocery items or self care items. So, if you ran out of shampoo, okay, replace and buy new shampoo. But try to keep your costs down. Don't fall prey to being influenced into buying higher end items. And that brings me to point number 2. Try staying off social media, or at least limit your exposure to social media. You want to avoid feeling like you're missing out or being influenced into spending money. So it could be removing the Amazon app, staying out of the stores. Trust me, the retailers don't need your money. You do. I don't care that it's Black Friday. A sale isn't a sale if you didn't intend to spend money. And I know I'm saying all the cliche things out there, but they're all true. So the first point of not being broke is to stop adding more debt. No one's coming to save you. You're going to need to save yourself. So stop digging a ditch and stop spending money. The next thing you want to do is, in addition to not adding new debt or not accumulating new debt, is you want to stop using the present day to pay for your past. You're setting yourself up for the future to be paying for your past. Credit cards make it so easy to spend money that you don't have. And afterpay, spreading out the payments. Oh, you have to stop. You're broke. You don't need it. You need your money. So concentrate on feeling content with the things you do own, practicing frugality, and maybe move over to a cash system. Chances are you're going to spend a lot less money when you use cash as opposed to when you use credit. And it is a really good habit to get into the habit of paying for things in real time. And when you do use your credit card, maybe go home and immediately pay what you just bought so that you feel what that spending feels like. So you're not spending money that you don't have. But if you can move over to cash for your discretionary, move over to cash because it's going to eliminate you spending on online retailers, online apps, anything online that is. So consider moving over to cash. And that brings us to the last thing. Stop borrowing other people's money or stop spending other people's money. You're financing fancy cars, trips, luxury items. You don't need to. The amount of money that you're giving away when you're doing these financing plans is alarming. Interest rates have gone so high because interest rates have been rising. Thankfully, they're going down a little bit, but they're not going down fast enough to make the debt that you've already taken out more affordable. So don't take on new debt. Consider keeping the item that you already have financed once it's paid off so that you're not accumulating new debts. And save for the next thing that you want to buy. Keep the car after it's paid off. Keep the phone after it's paid off. Keep the items for a longer use than you've been doing. The next thing you want to do is you want to really get familiar with money management. You don't want to put your head in the sand. You need to look at what you owe, the money you have coming in, and the money you have going out. So that means tracking your income, all streams of income. If you have a side hustle, if you're making overtime, if you're getting tips, you want to track your income and you want to track your expenses. And then you want to use that to create a budget that is in line specifically for you. And that means trying to live potentially within the 50-30-20 rule. You want to try to get your needs, your household, your grocery, your car payments, everything trying to fit within 50%. And then your discretionary, 30%. And again, this is the repair, replace, replenish. And then you want to be saving. And if you can't save because you have so much debt, you're going to use that saving money that you had. Majority of it is going to go towards paying off debts. But you do want to set some of it aside for an emergency fund. Think of crafty ways to create an emergency fund for yourself. God forbid you lost your job, you want to be able to pay your rent. So one of the things you can do is if your rent is, let's just say, $2,000 a month, take that and divide it by 10 so that you have equal part payments and save $200 aside each month so that you're building up 1 month rent payment over a 10-month period. That's an easy way to start saving. And then you need to start paying off debts. So we avoided adding new debts to the situation, but you have to start paying off your old debts. That's costing you a lot of money. And so the money you have budgeted for savings, a lot of that is going to need to go towards debt repayment. Consider the snowball method or the debt avalanche method, whichever one that you feel is right for you. The snowball means taking the one with the smallest principal balance left and paying that off as quickly as possible and just paying the minimum on the rest of your loans or the money that you owe. And the avalanche means looking at the interest payments, which has the highest interest, and then taking any extra money, regardless of how big the loan is, and throwing it at that loan until it's paid off. They say the snowball method gives you quicker wins, but it really depends. It's an individual situation. Sometimes they align, meaning the smallest debt has the highest interest rate, but you want to be paying off your debts. And then you want to automate your bills so that you improve your credit score. And that if you ever do come in a situation where you need to borrow money, that cost of the loan isn't going to cost you as much, because that's going to make a difference for the amount of money that you get to keep in your own pocket. And then you want to do automatic savings. So consider going to your employer and putting money aside just so that you can start investing in your retirement, even if it is 10%. That 10%, if you're putting in traditional, it's going to mean you're not really putting 10% in. The government's going to be putting in while you reduce tax bill. So consider putting money in your retirement. So there are some ways of what you can do to stop living the cycle of debt. I really hope it's helpful. And I truly think that most people, if they look at their bills, they'll see that they've been spending a lot more than they think they have on things they didn't need. And they're repeating the cycle of being broke. You don't have to. Anyway, this is Regina from Simply Fundamental. Hit me up in the comments if there's anything you'd like to add, or if you have anything that you want to talk about. That's my fridge. And this video is going on 11 minutes. So thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.